everybody, and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have a video called potential summer reading plans. It is May 22nd. So I know that these are not the only books I'm going to be reading this summer. There's a ton of books that have not come out yet that I know that I'll be getting to. Home Before Dark, The 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand. There's a ton of books that have not been released yet that I know I will be reading this summer. These are just books that have an ocean on the cover. They take place in the summer, or they just give me summer vibes that I feel like I may want to read. Not gonna lie, there's a ton on here that I feel like I know very little about, that I've had them on my shelf for so long that I don't even remember what they're about. So we're just gonna dive right in. The first one I really want to get to is When We Left Cuba by Chanel Clayton, because the cover just screams summer. The Last Train to the Key West comes out soon, I believe, which I have pre-ordered, and the fact that I still haven't read this book yet is killing me. This is the sequel or companion book to Next Year in Havana, so I believe I read that last summer. So I definitely need to get to this one this summer, ASAP. I don't know if this one takes place in the summer, but this is Golden Hours by Beatrice Williams. I believe that this one has to do with the Bahamas. So I feel like if it's the Bahamas, at least I'll get the warm feeling. So even if it doesn't necessarily take place in the summer, it'll still give me summer vibes. But even so, I still have The Summer Wives by Beatrice Williams, which obviously has the word summer in the title, which should mean that it has to do with the summer. And I would also like to know if I need to repurchase it, because it still drives me nuts that I traded it from somebody and it was completely destroyed. So I'd like to know if I need to repurchase this baby. But possible summery historical fictions, which is kind of right up my alley right now. We've got When We Found Home by Susan Mallory. I bought this, I feel 2 summers ago, when Barnes & Noble was having their, 50% off everything sale, which has the excuse for 2 other books on here, too, so, I really need to get on that. Yeah, this coupon on here expired December 10th of 2018, so yeah, I definitely bought this in 2018, so I need to get on it. I don't know if this takes place in the summer. All I know is that it has water on the cover. So, maybe. Santorini Sunsets by Anita Hughes. This takes place in Greece, which signed me up. This is an author that I used to read a ton by, and then I was really only finding that the very first book I read by her, Market Street, was my only five-star novel from her. So I've unhauled all of them except Market Street and this one, because I haven't read this one yet. So it's just kind of been sitting on my shelf, and I feel like it sits there because I just remember not really loving some of her other work. So I feel like it's got this bias against it by accident. So I feel like if I don't read it this summer, it kind of has to go. I feel like I'll never get to it. So we'll see if I make it around to it. But this cover screams summer to me. We've got The Glass Ocean by Beatrice Williams and Laura Willig and Karen White. And again, this doesn't scream summer to me, but it has to do with the you know what I'm saying, Lusitania, the ship. But when you look at the very first chapter, it says New York, May 2013. So my thought is if it starts in May, maybe it goes to June, July. So we'll see. It may not be a summer read. Let me know if you think it's a summer read or not. I don't know. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren just feels like the epitome of summer with this cover. It's about a couple and their siblings got married. This girl is the maid of honor for her sister, and this guy is, I believe, the brother and the best man of the groom, I think. And the groom and the bride can't go on their honeymoon because they all get sick at the wedding, but the only 2 people who did not eat anything or that made them sick were the best man and the maid of honor. So they go on the honeymoon, and I think it's an enemies to lovers romance. So I probably should get to that one this summer. 2 by the same author. We've got Hannah McKinnon. We've got Sailing Lessons and Lake Season. I really liked Mystic Summer, and then what was the other one that I read that turned out to not be, it wasn't not good. The Summer House. I really liked The Summer House, except I used it for a challenge to read during a readathon where it was like things that you want to happen, and I was like, well, I want to go to a summer house, and then as I was reading it, like all these bad things kept happening to the main characters, and I was like, I don't want this to happen. Like, but yeah, so I've got sailing lessons and lake season, so I should probably read at least one of these. We've got The Islanders by Meg Mitchell Moore. This is another, it was 50% off on Barnes & Noble one day, and I had to grab it. I believe it takes place on Block Island, and I just saw somebody on Instagram reading it, and they said that they're flying through and that they're loving it. Ellen Hildebrand quotes the top, so you know if Ellen Hildebrand quotes anything, I am all here for it. So hopefully I will enjoy this one this summer. Obviously, the sequel to the Bluebell Inn series, we've got Carolina Breeze. This just came out, and I don't know if this takes place in the summer, but it just came out, so I'm hoping that it takes place in the summer. But, like, the location itself gives such summer vibes anyways. It's about these siblings who are running this bed and breakfast, and I'm so excited for book 2. I can't wait to follow the next sibling and follow their love journey. We've got Montauk by Nicola Harrison. Again, I'm not 100% if this has anything to do with the summer, but it has to do with Montauk on Long Island. It's a historical fiction novel, and it just kind of screams summer, so I'm hoping it's summer, but if it's not, oh well. Then we've got California Girls by Susan Mallory. So actually a second Susan Mallory book. I got this one last summer saying I was going to read this last summer, and then I never got to it. So hopefully I can get to it this summer. I really typically like reading her books in the summer anyway, so even if they aren't a summer read per se, it'll still be a good summer read. Then we've got The Forever Summer by Jamie Brenner. I read The Husband Hours 2 summers ago, I think, or last summer, and I really enjoyed it, and I wanted to try more of her work. She did come out with a book, Drowning Deep or something, last year, but it came directly out in hardcover, and I've been collecting the paperbacks because my first one is actually an ARC somehow that I bought at the library. So then I got this one in paperback, so now I've been waiting for that one to come out in paperback, but I should probably read this one first. And again, another book that takes place in the Cape. I love books that take place in the Cape because we go to the Cape, so I feel like I can relate to it a little bit more. I've got Big Summer by Jennifer Weiner. This book just came out as well, or yeah, I think just this week it officially came out. All I know is it has to do with summer, and there's a murder, and then I said sign me up, so I did. I've also got Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is about 2 authors that are either like vacationing or retreating in 2 homes that are right next to each other on the beach. I believe it's a lake beach though. And they're both kind of going through some writer's block, and they agree to switch genres. She normally writes romance and he writes literary fiction, and I believe they swap, and I believe it's their love story. I've heard phenomenal things about this one, so really excited to get to this one once it gets closer to beach season. And then the last one I've got is Feels Like Falling by Christy Woodson Harvey, because this one just came out as well. I loved her Peachtree Bluff series last summer, so when she was coming out with a new summer read, I had to pick it up. To be honest, don't 100% know what this one's really about, but I'm here for it anyways. It takes place in North Carolina. 2 women that are kind of going through some rough patches in their life right now, and they spark a friendship, I believe, and I'm assuming there's probably a love story somewhere in here as well, but this screams summer to me. So yeah, those are all the books that kind of scream summer to me that are on my shelf currently right now. Let me know if any of these books don't take place in the summer and I shouldn't read them in the summer, or if you recommend me reading any of those very soon. Let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, everybody.